This episode is proudly brought to you by Lululemon. Lululemon are a brand known for yoga, but as we know, their run gear is technical, highly functional, and built to last run after run through the seasons. Check the collection out at lululemon.com.au. Welcome to episode number 240 of the Inside Rain podcast. Thank you for joining us for another week. Big show coming at you. Just off air talking with the boys about the results to get through tonight. We're going to be reviewing some Lululemon running gear, a good listener question, which is going to merge with training talk, all about half marathon specific workouts. And we'll be hearing some weekly recaps to start things off. Welcome to my co-host up in Canberra. I think he's probably 4 weeks out from the Gold Coast Marathon. Welcome to you, Bradley.
Thanks, Brady. Yeah, it's bloody cold here. I think it's time to move to Norway for the next 6 months.
It's
freezing.
Been cold everywhere, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been miserable, yeah.
Had to be resilient running the last week, and I think this week.
Yeah.
It's some rough conditions. My other co-host is also in a bit of a rough condition, Julian Spence. Welcome to you this week.
Thank you. It's been cold down here when... it's not normally cold down on the coast. It's very mild on the coast normally, so I know how cold it would be inland right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How cold does it get there overnight?
Oh, well, lately it's been down to about 4, but I went Blue Doctor last night and it was feels like -2 when I got out of the water and then walked home, and that was really, really cold.
Yeah, that's pretty cold.
Yeah, the water has just dropped considerably, actually, the temperature the last 2 weeks. And so it's proper, Arctic feels at the moment down on the coast.
Yeah, whenever I think about whinging, I just Google Ballarat weather or Canberra weather. Because I know they're always going to be a bit worse than I am.
Ballarat's been hit hard, mate.
It feels like temperature here this morning was -5 because it was 40 km/h winds. So it was 3.6 degrees with 40 km/h winds.
Oh, I love whinging about the weather too, because you could pick a show out, any week during summer and would be whinging about it being too hot, and any week in winter we're whinging about it being too cold.
Yeah, but I think it makes you realise that period of April, May is just so nice here. You don't get the winds, the temperatures aren't super cold. It's just great running weather. And then you hit this and you're oh, and it's just time to bunker down for the next 3 months.
But this one come around real quick. It was good weather 2 weeks ago. Now it's straight into it feels like 0 and tops are 10, 11.
Yeah. Top of 80 tomorrow.
That's what's got us. I think it's snuck up on us a bit, and then bam, just taking us straight out. But anyway, we'll still keep running. We'll still keep talking about running. And let's kick things off, Bradley, with your week, your Monday through to Sunday. Tell us what's been happening.
All right. So I had a lighter week in terms of volume. I figured I'd strung together 4 pretty big weeks, close to sort of 160K. So I just did singles all week. So Monday, when we got back from the coast, headed out to Mulligan's. It was wet and windy, so just an hour out there. Tuesday, I actually just decided to run on the treadmill, so I just did another hour at just under 4:30s. And then Wednesday after work, I did another treadmill run, but this time I did a session, just my standard 6 by 6 minutes off 1 minute rest. So they were at 3:15s or 18.5K an hour. So I normally do sessions on a Tuesday, but because I did that harder long run on the Sunday, I gave myself a couple more days recovery. So that was the Wednesday, and that was just a fun session. It's solid but controlled, and finished feeling like I could do a couple more reps quite easily. Another hour then on Thursday, Mulligans 407s. And then Friday, I did sort of, I guess, a bit of a marathon, like a long tempo. So actually Viv came out on the bike. So she hasn't ridden with me since before Lily was born, but the kids had a sleepover at Viv's parents' place. So she met me down at Yerraby Pond and did the warm-up together. And, I did 4 laps of Yerraby. Averaged 3:14s for that. And I'd say it felt like a marathon in a small scale, in that felt really, really comfortable through. So it ended up being 15.5K at 3:14. So just on 50 minutes. And the first 10K felt like very good, which, that sort of 20K of the marathon, I suppose. And then the last probably couple of K got a little bit tough. But it was good because I feel like I sort of hit that point where mentally it started to become a bit of a grind, and physically my legs started to sort of just get a little bit heavy. So, I was pretty happy with that. Viv fell off the bike again.
Did she? Is she okay?
Yeah, she's all right, yeah. She's a bit of a battler on the bike, but it wasn't her fault. So we were coming up to, must have been 14.5K into it, and there was 4 kids up ahead, two abreast on the bike path. And I said to Viv, she was there sort of to help me with, clearing the path and also drinks if I wanted them. But it was so cold that I didn't have any liquid or any nutrition during the whole run, because I was just didn't feel like I needed it in that temperature. So I said to her, can you go ahead and, clear the path? Because I knew that we're catching them pretty quick. And she caught up to them and was yelling out, and they sort of obviously didn't hear her. And then they finally heard her, and one guy then turned around and pretty much just slammed on his brakes. And so she ended up the back of him, and then she fell down. I could see that she was okay. So I pretty much then just jumped over, because I only had 500 metres or so to go, or a K.
You didn't hurdle your wife when she was on the ground, surely.
Yeah, I kept going. I was just but I didn't because I knew she was all right. But it's just, so anyway, I then finished, because where she fell off was actually at a bridge. So she could just cross the bridge and meet me on the other side, which, basically a kilometre from where she fell over. I ran an extra kilometre, and she only had to go 300 metres. But
so she rode into a kid?
Up the back of a kid, yeah. Or the kid stopped.
Was the kid okay?
In front of her. Yeah. Just the kid apologised. So
the 6-year-old kid apologised.
No, it was a high school kid, probably I don't know, year 9, 15 years old or something. So
I did see some video footage. I wish we had this bit on video. You look smooth. Yeah. Did you see the video, Moose?
I think I saw a little bit of it, yeah.
He looks smooth. When I saw it, I'm like, what's Viv doing riding the bike with Croaks just jogging? And then I checked Strava, and I'm like, 3:15s or 3:14s. Yeah. I'm like, he looks smooth. So
that was just around 10K. So she did a good job of that. She seems to fall off at least once when we do some sort of tempo. But anyway, it was nice. It was nice having her out there, and obviously appreciate it. It certainly makes the time go a bit quicker.
Got that last K in nice and fast, Croaks?
Kicked it down. Well, I was sort of...
Just as it got hard, you said? Just as it started...
It got hard. I thought, well, that was the thing. It's I'd better sort of get around here, get back to her, see that she is actually okay.
Yeah, that was it. That was what was on your mind.
Anyway, So
Croaks, pace-wise, so this was... Did you want to stimulate band tired in the last 5K?
Yeah, pretty much. I wanted to replicate that mental grind that you get in the marathon. Obviously, the marathon grind probably lasts a little bit longer. But if I was to do an hour at 3:20s, which you'll even slightly slower, which is probably my marathon pace, if I did an hour at that, I don't think I would sort of have got there. Whereas this sort of just accelerated it a little bit more. And yeah, it was probably only the last, couple of K that got sort of, a little bit tough. But I was, pretty happy with it. I think it was 32 minutes for the last 10K. So yeah,
I think you get more out of doing the marathon pace effort.
For longer, you mean?
Yeah, I know you like that, but I wasn't going to. I haven't done. It's a very different marathon prep. Like, it's very condensed. So like, I didn't really want to go out and do a 4x5K or something like that. I just thought, a solid 50 minutes, and maybe. Obviously, if I was training properly for a marathon, I'd be doing those longer sessions.
But this is the pace that you're going to kick down to, isn't it? For the second half?
Who knows? Like, probably not the whole second half, but depending on where I leave the women and how I'm feeling, like, I'd imagine that hopefully a couple of kilometres I can run that sort of pace.
I'm in the camp to leave them from the gun, Brad, like a few people in the comments here.
Nah,
gun goes, bang.
I'm happy to pace.
I know. I'm just trying to get you to change your mind, which I know you're never going to do because you're locked in.
You love money. Why is this like you've run 6-minute reps on Tuesday at 3:15s, and now you've run 50 minutes at 3:15s?
Yeah, but this is the thing. The treadmill feels way harder than this. Like, in terms of the pace. Like, I feel like I'm running harder on the treadmill.
Did you have heart rate on?
No, I wore heart rate for the treadmill session, but I didn't take my heart rate strap down to the pond.
Looks pretty good, and it's actually pretty similar. 160 for both.
So
anyway, that must be wrong then, because like a 6-minute rep is very different to 50 minutes at the same pace.
But he did say it was easy, like it was a fun session.
Easy.
Is that what you said, Brady? You had it under control, a pleasant session or something? What was your word?
What, the treadmill session?
Yeah, the 6-minute reps.
Treadmill session,
yeah. Yeah. It's pretty comfortable. So, anyway, it was a good, solid hit out, good, solid run.
Looked good. Do you think there would have been value in taking the gels, even though it was cold, just to get a bit of like gut practice in there, or you take them on your long runs a bit?
No, I generally don't take them that often. I've never had an issue with that sort of stuff, though. Yeah, like I managed to get like heaps of gels down at like Lake Biwa. Actually, just about I haven't done that many marathons, but every marathon I've done, I've never had an issue with getting the nutrition down.
Yeah.
I still think you should practice that though. Like, you just said you've only done a few marathons, and you can actually condition or train your gut to sort of handle it better by practicing with it, and I think you recover better when you take it during training as well. You're less depleted, so you can have a better training week. Like I'm in the camp of taking it during training, even if you don't have an issue on the day. I still think it's beneficial to use it.
I agree as well, but as I said before, like, this marathon is very different to any other marathon. Like, the first half, it's not like I'm racing this marathon. So
we're in two camps here, Moose. We're talking to him like we want him to race the marathon and prepare and do stuff at the right pace for marathon practice and take his gels. And he's like, I am not doing a marathon, boys.
Yeah, but if you're not doing a marathon, then why are you doing this stuff? Why are you running 38K?
Because I still have to actually run a marathon and I still have to do it at a decent clip. But the point is, from the nutrition point of view, I'm going to be less depleted after halfway of this marathon than I would be if I was racing it.
It's only a couple of minutes. It's only a couple of minutes off your PB going through half.
A couple of minutes off my PB, off what?
What
are you talking about?
Is he still there?
Yeah.
So you're going through at like 71 minutes, 72? Yeah, maybe like 2 minutes off.
Well, on the flip side, then Brady banking 2 minutes. Brady banking 2 minutes. If 2 minutes isn't much in a marathon, then Brady banking 2 minutes early on, like he used to do, isn't an issue.
I've never gone through in 68. No, I've never done 68.
No, but the point I'm getting at is that Moose is saying that 2 minutes is not that much in a marathon. But if somebody was to run a minute faster over the first half than what they should, you'd say, well, that's suicide. And so it's obviously a lot harder.
The effects of depletion aren't that great between you going through in 69 or you going through in 71.
All right.
So it's still going to be hard in the back half if you went through in 69 or 71.
Yeah. We
can all agree to that.
one thing though, like I've paced this marathon 3 times now, and I've gone to 35k with not really training for this marathon, and I've felt pretty fine doing it, and I've taken nutrition, so I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that wasn't winding it up though. You know what I mean? Like staying at 3:25 pace is a big difference to starting at 3:15.
If I'm having a shit day, I won't be winding it up. I'll just be running to the finish line.
I'm going to be at 26k, I think. That's where our hotel is, 26k with both the kids. I'll be there to cheer you on. I was working it out yesterday with Carly.
Yeah.
I still don't get it. I'm like, you're fucking in form. You're in shape. You're going to the Gold Coast. Like, this is the time to run fast.
Well, I'm not in PB shape, so I'm not interested in racing. That's like, I'd much prefer to go up there and do the pacing would be way more enjoyable. If I thought I could run a PB, I would race. But I know I'm not in PB shape for a marathon.
That's sad though. That's sad that you think like that.
Yeah.
That you only run to run a PB because you never run again. You never race again.
No, but that's the thing. But we've gone through this so many times. I run for more reasons than racing. I actually run. The racing part of it now is the least enjoyable thing for me. Me just stringing together a week of training is enjoyable. I love that. I could do that for the rest of my life and be happy. Whereas you guys are just so obsessed with this whole racing thing.
You did say a few weeks ago, Brad, after the Sydney 10 that you pride yourself on only doing good races, like having good results next to your name. But then if you were to finish this off and say run like 221, 222 when you're capable of running like 218, 219 on the day, surely that doesn't tick that box.
That wouldn't bother me. That doesn't bother me. No, not at all. Because deep down I know that like it wasn't my race, like I wasn't racing it. Like,
for Valencia.
It's different if I've actually stated that it's a race. I'm going to, do it as hard as I possibly can.
True. Still be on
so you go to Valencia, try to run a PB though.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's not locked in either.
Because that does. Yeah, I think like you just had a go at us for chasing PBs.
Like, well, put it this way, I'm not really that. Like, I'm not that interested in chasing. Like racing a marathon. Well, there's two ways that I would race a marathon. One, I would go to a flat fast one if I thought I was a chance of running a PB. The other is running a marathon where I'm a chance of actually just winning the race. And I don't really care about like Canberra, for example.
Get a W next to the name.
I'd happily go and race Canberra to try and win it. And I wouldn't care about time there. But for me, I think I wouldn't be that interested in going to a flat fast one unless I could run, a PB, or at least go there thinking that I potentially could.
Got it.
Got it? Does that all make sense?
Yeah. Taking notes now.
It doesn't make sense to me, but I'm with you.
You don't get that people run for different reasons, like
to win a race at Canberra. Is that you're not?
Well,
anyway, let's move on.
That's potentially one reason to do it, but the racing side of things is just like take it or leave it for me now. Like I enjoy. Like the last 3 months has been super. Like I've raced once in that time, but it's been so enjoyable because every run that I've been on over that period of time has felt good, which I couldn't say for the previous 3 years. And I would swap feeling like this for the next 5-6 years over any time moving forward. Because that's
I understand
what
that.
I enjoy.
That's an easy thing to understand. I get that, but like I just don't. You just said you went and ran that Sydney 10 and didn't run a PB and weren't in shape to run a PB, but you still went and did it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, why don't you go and do this at Gold Coast too?
Yeah, well, that one was more of I started training a bit differently. I just wanted to go and test out that, and that I remember about 6 weeks before Sydney 10. I'm like, I'm going to train this way. And then I'll go and do Sydney 10 and I'll see sort of what shape I'm in as a result of it. So,
anyway, Croaks, up to Saturday. You recovered well because you rolled at 4:03 the next day.
Yeah, so I did an hour that morning and then went and watched the new Top Gun movie that afternoon with Viv. So that was quite enjoyable.
Score out of 10?
Give it like good 8.5. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was
I've heard good reviews. Everyone
yeah.
I've seen has liked it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 2 hours yesterday, 4:09. So it was a pretty shitty day. It actually wasn't that cold. It was just really, really windy, like 40, 50k an hour wind. So we just did mulligans and then a loop down to Yerrabee Pond. So that was 29k in 2 hours and week of 132k.
Race week now, Croaks, Launceston, on the flight down Saturday. Getting excited?
Not really, to be honest, but I'll be there.
You can chase a PB at this one. Road 10k PB. What's your road 10k PB?
29.50 or 48 or something.
So this is one where you can chase a PB.
Maybe. We'll see. Let's go there and race, see what happens.
Yeah, the gun goes, bang. All right, Moose, tell us about your week.
Biggest week for a while for me, 33k I think it was. Monday night I ran 4k because I was still beat from the cross country, so just 20 minutes around Aynslee and just try to get some blood moving for recovery purposes. Next night I ran with the Tuesday night group leaving from the store. Now there's a bit of a crew that leaves, so I thought I'd join them. Awful night, ran down along the Esplanade down the foreshore Eastern Beach area in Geelong and then back to the store, so just like an out and back. The store's probably like, I'm going to say that's about a K to the Esplanade. So it's not the nicest run. It's actually not too bad. It's not too bad like when it's a nice day, but at night, gee, not great. Next day didn't run. I think I may have hurt my back a little. I think that's when I did tweak it, and then ran to 8k on the 2nd of June, whatever day that was. 5-minute K pace, 40 and 1 second. So I wasn't even going for that, just seemed to work out. Trail's a bit chopped up around here, so put on a trail shoe. Got a new one, Caldera 6 from Brooks. Pretty beefy. Next day, just ran half an hour. So I've sort of, with this week, I'm running a couple of runs together, so consecutively. So I ran 40 minutes and then 30 minutes the next morning. And then I had a day off, actually, and ran with Bree on Sunday morning. So we ran from my mum and dad's house up the top of the hill, left pier there. So went out for a jog. She did 14k and I did 47 minutes at the end it was. Ran over some trails, some hills. So it was good to run with Brad. I think we've done that for I'm going to say probably a year or so. She kept going, dropped me off. And that was it, my week, 33. And yeah, so Sunday night, that was last night. 4:30 a.m. Well, this morning it was. Woke up, throwing my guts up, and that's why I sound a bit shit right now. Still unconfirmed the cause of the sickness, but yeah.
Eating old shit out of your fridge again, Moose. We worked that out off air.
It wasn't that old. It's just may have spent a bit too much time out of the fridge the first time around.
You know, it has that green furry stuff on it, Moose. It's a bit past its use-by date.
Bit of mold.
I have no time to make lunches, so if I see something in the fridge, that's going to get it every time. Something pre-made, it's just bang it in the microwave. Like, that is a dream to me. So I probably just need to be a little more stringent on that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, is Bree racing anything at the Gold Coast?
Nah, I think she wants to sleep in. All the races are too early.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going on a holiday. I'm not getting up at fucking 4 a.m. to go to a fun run. So, nah, she's not. But she's getting there. I think she actually has an entry for Berlin this year that she picked up in the lottery, and she's going to defer it to the following year. So that'll be a locked in. We'll be going to Berlin 2023. So that should be fun.
Hear the announcement here. That's
Oh,
good.
well, yeah, Bree will be racing. And perhaps it's time for me to carry her bags. Although she's run every time we've done Berlin, she's run the race herself.
She did, didn't she? Yeah, broke 3 the first time.
Yeah, was it that the first time? Yeah, first time.
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, second time, I think. She's been there twice. Broke 3 the second time. Yeah, great day that day. That was the day that you were there, and we had a few beers afterwards, right?
Yeah, that was just Dano and I that year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that brewery, that real industrial looking place.
Yeah, for real Berlin-y, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was right. Good memories there.
Good fun. Yeah, good fun.
That was good fun. Is that when you ran 2:16 with Malcolm Hicks?
Must have been. That was it. So that was pretty good vibes all around that day. You broke 2:20 for the first time.
Yep, just got
Dano ran, 2:22 maybe?
I think it was 2:21, wasn't it? Oh, it could have been 2:22.
Yeah, he had a good day as well. And he had a little more hair back then too. So we were all going all right.
Now we've all got kids and just trying to figure out life. Drop them off at our parents' place so you can go for a run.
I keep thinking about how it used to be when you would just be able to do whatever you wanted.
Oh, whole days. I got over for my run yesterday and I'm like, imagine having no kids and you're like, I'll just have a shower and just do whatever the hell I want for the next 8 hours.
Yeah. Or let's just go for dinner tonight.
Yeah. Anyway.
That happened.
I'll tell you about my week. Oh, you're going to do Cruden Farm next week? That'll be your next race?
Yeah, I'll be going there. 12K will test me big time. It'll be, a test to get around 12K with Hill. So, yeah.
12K cross country is closer to a half marathon than it is a 10K on the roads, I reckon. It's a tough race.
Yeah. It's what will you compare that 10 mile? Remember that 10 mile Brimbank we used to do?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. That just went on and on. That was a tough race.
Yeah, which leads into my week because I think I pulled up sorer from 8K cross country than I would have 10K road after our race last week. So I was really sore on Monday. I did 60 minutes in the morning, 4:49s. Just didn't get rolling. It wasn't one of those ones where I start off slow and get quicker. It was just slow the whole way. But just respected it and just kept it easy. 30 minutes in the afternoon at 4:41s, still battling. 80 minutes, though, on the Tuesday morning, ran with your mate Ferg. We were talking about him at the end of last week's episode. So I met up with him. It was dark. We had to start early because he's a pretty busy man. And it was good running with him. We were just talking. But he's good at talking, isn't he? He's good for a chat.
So, he is.
Yeah, because I don't think I'd ran with him before. Seen him at a few races, but you've kind of got a few of those blokes in Ballarat, don't you? Doltz, Berkey, Ferg. All family men. I think men, and I reckon I've ran with all 3 of them when they come to Echuca Moama.
So Doltz, he's got a fuck knee. He hasn't run in ages. Berkey also fuck knee, limps around. Ferg's got the most potential. He's run 2:29. I think he ran at Melbourne.
Yeah. Yep.
And but can go quicker. But loses the plot. Goes and does. But it's like a runner for the North Ballarat football team. Yeah, It does some stupid shit like that.
Anyway, we did 80 minutes together, and I was showing him my, the local footpaths and roads and shops and all this stuff, but he knew more about the town than I actually did. He's pretty heavily involved in businesses and, was pointing things out as we were jogging along and did 80 minutes, and then I think we averaged 4:19. So I was actually surprised when I looked at that at the end because I just had my stopwatch face going. So obviously the legs had bounced back all right. So that was an enjoyable run. Just good talking to someone with a similar IQ, which was good. So that was all right.
I don't think he finished school, Ferg.
He's a smart guy. 30 minutes in the afternoon at 4:41s. Wednesday, I moved my workout back a day, so I did it in the morning on Wednesday. That super cold weather we're talking about. I think it feels like 20k an hour winds. I did 6 by 1.5k at threshold, so I was kind of working at about 3:12 average, I think, for the workout. Some were faster, some were slower, depending where the wind was. The last one, for example, I think was about 3:17 average, just because it was the whole 1.5k was straight into the wind, and I just had to check the ego and just be like, nah, let the wind slow you down. Which is sometimes hard to do in the last rep because you want to finish it strong, but I just knew that I was working way too hard if I was going to be trying to hit that close to 3:10, 3:12 pace. So I blew out a bit there, but that was okay, and then got 7k in the afternoon done at 4:33 pace. Hour 45 before work on Thursday at 4:15s, just cold, dark, wet. Had 2 pairs of the running gloves on. When I say running gloves, I mean the cheap Nike Asics ones. I think the double I had on was, And
you put 2 on.
Yeah, 2 pairs of like the real thin ones.
Yeah,
and they still did nothing. That I had to, when you take your fingers out of the like finger holes and you just run with your hand in a fist inside the gloves, but then the fingers from the gloves just bounce around, and you look like a tool. Yeah, you ever thought about that? Ever done that before?
I've never had to do that.
Croaks, you ever done that before?
No.
Yeah, you just got to get some warmth going and get the fingers all next to each other in a fist, and then the glove just got nothing to do. But anyway, I've got to, because my wife's mum, Kate, she bought me a good pair of like merino wool ones last year, which were like real old lady gloves, like just super woolly, didn't even look like running gloves, but geez, they were good. But I just can't find them. I've got to start moving some clothing around in my wardrobe to see if I can find that pair of gloves, because that saved me last winter. And then 30 minutes in the afternoon, Thursday, so big day of mileage there. Friday, 70 minutes in the morning, and then 30 minutes with 6 times 20-second strides in the afternoon. Then I did Monofartlek Saturday morning. I hit 6.5k, just had it programmed into the watch, so I don't like look at pace or anything, but it kind of looked like I was hovering around like 255s for the ons and 315s for the floats. Just went out and back. I think I went 11 minutes out, so then I turned on the 1 minute float, and then went back in the same direction. So that was good. Just it's hard to feel good in those last couple of minutes of Monofartlek. I think it's a good session where you're pretty gassed towards the end of it. If you're keeping those floats pretty honest, which I was doing, but happy to hit like 6.5k, like solo, cold, wet morning. And then Sunday, hour 50 at 4:13s. Listened to Hamish and Andy podcast for a while, and then into a bit of music. And an hour 50 was a piece of cake, coming off the back of like 2 hour 15, 2 hour 20 long runs, and quite enjoyable. But I did have, I watched the finale of Ozarks the night before. You guys watch that? Netflix? Yeah, so I had that finale going through my head the whole time, Croaks. Which a bit happens in the finale, doesn't it? Without giving anything away for punters at home who aren't through it all.
Why would you have that going through your head on a long run?
Just some of the plot lines in there, and I'm like, oh, did they have to do that? They should have done this. Like, I wasn't sure how I felt about it. That's the stuff that goes through my head on a long run, Brad. Just all kinds of ideas, and thoughts and stuff. So anyway, it was a good week. 169.5. Round that up to 170 in the training diary because it looks a bit better. Saw the Pies have a win yesterday as well, which was good to see them beat Hawthorn, and a good week all round. Rolling into race week this week. Body feels good, feel recovered, looking forward to go. Man, you Croaks, big feels. We'll talk about them at the end of the show as well. We'll do a bit of a preview. But yeah, everything's feeling all right at my end. Thanks, Patrick.
Going well. And it was a smart week, I reckon. Smart week.
Yeah, you just got to wait, don't you? Like, you just let I think running without your pace showing, and then, so I got like pleasantly surprised on that Tuesday. I'm like, oh, that was 4:19s and I wasn't trying to make it 4:19s. I must be ready for a workout in 24 hours. Whereas if I finished that day and it was still like 4:40, though, I would have been like, nah, we're giving it another day. So listen to your body is pretty important, I think. Let's thank some Patreon supporters. Croaks, who you got?
I got Lewis Neville this week. Lewis lives in Wagga Wagga. He has a 17:33 park run next to his name, which he did at Wagga. 1:20 for the Murray Marathon Festival, so I'm guessing that's the half. And 2:55 at Melbourne in 2019. He possibly has a birthday in May. If so, happy belated birthday. He proposed at Lake Louise. He's well-travelled. Ran his first marathon in 3:10 at Richmond Park Trail Marathon back in 2018 and won it. Once saw the Queen, and his Instagram is looking a lot better than his Strava. Oh, and he has one child, a girl. So a lot there. Thanks for your support, Lewis.
Gone deep there, Brady.
Could have kept going too. I got onto his old Instagram page and there was some good stuff there. Lake Louise, Canada. Been there, boys? I've been there. It's a good spot.
No, I haven't.
Beautiful spot to propose, Lewis.
Is that a real crystal clear lake?
Yeah, and the snow mountains all surround it.
Yeah, I've seen some pics of that.
And like it ices over. I reckon I was there when it wasn't iced over, but there was snow like on the mountains. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good spot to drop the knee. Good on you, Lewis. Thanks for your Patreon support. Moose, who you got?
I have Johnny McGibbon from McLeod in Victoria. Is McLeod like Bendigo way?
No, it's a suburb in Melbourne. I looked it up.
Oh, is it? Never heard of it.
Pretty close. It said neither did I. Then I looked it up and it was 14k from the CBD of Melbourne.
Oh.
Just a real small suburb.
West, east, north?
Oh, I'm going to say east, but I'll confirm for you.
All right. Estimated best on Strava as 22:09, 48, 1:43 at Run Melbourne 2018. Recently did a Mona fartlek and has hit 4:18 for that Mona. Did the half at Melbourne in 2021, nailing the consistency on Strava, and potentially has 2 kids. Thank you, Johnny.
Northeast Moose.
Oh, northeast.
Greensborough, Bundoora, Lower Plenty, Preston, Northcote, that kind of area. Bulleen.
I gotcha.
Yep, you know where I'm talking?
Well, I know Bundoora.
Did you go to university?
No, I didn't go there.
Didn't go there?
Is that Deakin Bundoora? No.
Latrobe, Bundoora.
Yeah, no, I've never been there. I'll just go there to run.
Good on you, Johnny. I'm going to thank Lucy Clark. Listen to this bio here, boys, from Bright, Victoria. She's a Bright Brewery ambassador. That'd be an right ambassadorship to have, wouldn't it?
You've been there? I've been there a few times.
I haven't been there, actually. I've been through the town, a lovely town, Bright, but I haven't been to the brewery. 1855 for 5, 127 for the half, 315 at Gold Coast in 2018. Not sure how current those PBs are, but her big claim to fame is that she is the world record holder for the fastest person to run the length of New Zealand, 3,000 Ks from top to bottom to top. Not sure which way she did it. Huge. She did 3,000 Ks in 66 days, which is
north to south,
45 K per day average.
Oh,
I don't know if she went north to south, south from north. I'll have to look that up in a second.
I wonder if she had days off, and so she
Oh, you reckon? So then she's the average is actually higher.
Maybe she only does 5K one day and then she does 60 the next day or something like that. 70 the next day.
Yeah, don't know. Have to ask her. She cycled the length of Britain also as well. She's a strategic marketer and content creator. Her biggest dislike is people chewing with their mouth open and sniffing. So Lucy, well done on all your achievements, and a massive thank you for your support over there on Patreon. Pretty 3 unique different individuals this week, so there's a whole lot of legends over there on Patreon. You can also become one yourself if you're listening to this and think this show brings you $5 worth of value a month. That's for 4 weeks worth of the weekly show, plus a Shoe Geeks, plus all the other stuff that we try to provide. So Inside Running Podcast, search it on Patreon or patreon.com/Inside Running Podcast to keep the lights on. There's a reason we're up to episode 240, and that's because of the legends at Patreon. Running news, boys. It's been a big week. What happens in the week of running? Start with you, Croaks, up at New South Wales cross-country relays.
Yeah, so they had the relays up at Upjohn Park in Rydalmere. Run crew won both the men and the women, but we'll start with the men. They won in 50:11, so it's a 4x4K relay. They won in 50:11. Second was Sydney Uni in 50:22, and UTS North third in 50:44. They beat Bankstown for the third place by 1 second. The 3 fastest splits of the day were Kieren Tall, 12:10, Ed Goddard was 12:11, and Benny St. Lawrence was 12:18. As mentioned before, women won. Run crew won the women's race as well, 56:53. UTS second, 61:36, and Sydney Uni 61:44 for third. The 3 fastest splits: Abby Nordberg 13:45, Aynslee Van Graan 13:57, and Kate Spencer was 13:59.
This was at third round, Croaks. Run crew already ahead, weren't they, on the overall standings?
I'm not sure. I'm not because they have all different divisions and the whole club. I think the club premiership might include juniors and stuff as well. So I don't really know how it all works.
The Run crew Rattlesnakes are going well. They're up there dominating everything.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, that's supposedly. I don't know. That's just what I got told. Hey, Moose, why do they all wear those the new Dragonfly cross country spikes? You seen those?
I think there's been some.
How's the Sydney boys got them?
Some samples thrown around testing stuff. We had a guy like Liam Coughlin. He runs for Geelong. He was wearing them at St Anne's actually. So I think there's just a bit of a hookup there with a Nike employee who's given them out for testing.
Okay, so they're not, because they're all kind of white, but is that just because they're sample? They're not going to look like that when they come out?
No, well, I have no idea what they are, to be honest. Like, they're not due to come out for any time soon, that's for sure.
Okay.
So I wouldn't get your hopes up there.
Yeah, I just like the dragonfly for cross country as it is. But you think this could be even better?
These are slightly better. Like for cross country, they will be. They're tighter up. They got these the cross country pins look a little bit more like rugby spikes. So it's not just tiny needles. It's like there's actually a base to them.
Okay.
They look pretty good.
Next bit of news, Moose. Georgia Griffith. We'll talk about her twice, but this was actually midweek, I think.
So Georgia Griffith got the time, the World Champs qualifying time. She ran 4:03.95 and won the 1500 at Jessheim by over 8 seconds. So she's pretty much time trialled that. Placing herself in contention for Birmingham Com Games as well as the World Championships. She also ran 2 minutes flat 72 last week in the Netherlands, which we missed. So big run from her, puts herself in the ballpark with that 4:03. Then comes back at the Rabat Diamond League. Is that right? Rabat?
Rabat. Last night.
Yeah, where is Rabat?
Monaco.
Morocco.
Oh, Morocco. Yeah, okay.
Capital of Morocco.
So she's run 1,500 metres again, and this is a Diamond League race. So it's a legit one. She's come fourth. She ran 4 flat 16, number 3 all-time Australian. Linden Hall was in the same race, came 9th in 4:03.2. So what this does is Georgia Griffiths leapfrogs Abby Caldwell in the race in the rankings in terms of like fastest times qualified for the World Championships and Commonwealth Games as well. Now, this is where the question marks begin. This is where the conversation gets interesting. Croaks, where does it leave Abby Caldwell?
Well, this comes down to the selection criteria and how you read the selection criteria. So from my understanding and what has happened in previous years is that if you win the national title, you basically have a spot reserved for you as long as you hit the standard before the end of the qualification period. So Abby Caldwell won nationals. She didn't have the standard at the time, but has since run the standard. In any other year, that would make her an automatic selection, which if she's an automatic selection, that only then leaves 2 other spots, which we know that Jess Hull and Linden have both run under 4 minutes in the qualification period, and now you've got Georgia. And unfortunately, 4 doesn't go into 3. So personally, I think it would be brutal for Abby not to be selected based on just what's happened previous years. I think they should place some value. If you rock up to the trial and you win the trial, and Abby beat Georgia and beat Linden in that race, then I think you deserve your spot if you've got the time. Whether that happens is, I guess we have to just wait and see.
Yeah, the wording in the selection criteria says any athlete who wins the selection trial, so nationals, and has achieved the World Athletic Standard prior to the trial and within the qualification period will be automatically selected. So if Linden won that day because she did have the time from the Olympics, bang, she's got a spot. Automatic, and that's why we saw people get announced a couple of weeks ago. Remember when
that's right. No, they got announced immediately after, basically.
Yeah. So that wording has obviously changed since what we've expected in the past, Croaks, haven't we? Because for as long as I've known, if you win the championships and then go get the time in Europe or the US or wherever, you really nail your spot. But I agree with that, because nationals is early for Australians.
Yeah, I would almost argue that the fact that Abby didn't have the standard at trials and won it and then got it later is better than somebody who has the standard beforehand, wins it, and maybe then is not in any form after that. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll feel really sorry for Abby if she doesn't get it, because we know that she came real close to making the Olympics last year, and to miss out again when she does have the standard, did win nationals. I guess it's going to be interesting to see. But at the moment on form, Well, I guess Linden ran faster last night at the Diamond League than what Abby has ever.
Abby's PB is 404.1.
Yeah. But we still have a few more weeks as well.
But how important is a head-to-head? Like, yes, they're running quicker in different races, but Abby beat Georgia and Linden at the Australian Championships.
Yeah.
They've got to take that into account.
I think Georgia will go faster as well. Like, I got up this morning and watched the race, and like she looked great.
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
When she's in full flight, like her stride is so impressive.
Or is Linden the one in trouble if she can't find time?
Well,
she's an Olympic finalist.
No,
they're leaving Olympic finalist at home.
I don't think so.
I think Linden would have to at least get run 4 minutes, run basically 4 flat to knock Georgia off at the moment. Like, you got to pick on current form, don't you?
I think there's got to be credit in the bank when you're doing what Linden's done over the past 12 months.
True. Yeah. And also, sorry, go, Moose.
Well, I think this is the perfect opportunity to use the Commonwealth Games as the development championship, and give a spot to Abby Caldwell in the Commonwealth Games. And I know it's not as simple as that because of the restrictions on field limits and the Australian team size and all that. But in my mind, this is like those 3 girls have run faster, considerably faster now, and I just would let's just see what Abby does the next couple of weeks. I guess that's probably a good indication. That'll make things a little clearer.
If I'm Abby's manager, I'm doing everything I can to get her in a Diamond League that's paced fast, because they went through in 61. They set that up perfectly.
I think Linden will that's really her first race since indoors, so she'll only get faster off that. That's her season opener.
We spoke about this last week, but when does the qualification period end?
It's late June.
Yeah. So
okay,
the other
Linden's
option
only got 3 weeks though.
Yeah. The other option would be for Jess Hull to at one of the meets focus purely on the 5.
She did at Nationals. That's why she wasn't in that race where Abby did win.
Yeah, so Com Games, for example, Jess runs the 5K, and then that gives Abby, Linden, and Georgia the 15. But Jess probably sees herself as a medal chance in both of those events at a Commonwealth Games, so she'd probably want to run both of them if it's possible.
Don't know. The 26th of June, that's the cutoff.
Okay, so I've got another dot. Yeah, keep a lookout for, I guess, all 3 of them, really, don't you? 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're
good
all
problem to have, I guess.
It's a great problem to have as a country, but it's the depth is incredible.
A message now from our podcast partner, Lululemon. We've been talking about and wearing Lululemon, and if you're after new running gear for your run season goals, you know where to go. Lululemon have designed this season's run gear with technical and functional details, from internal zip pockets for the small necessities, to variations in lengths for women's and men's running tights and shorts, to sweat-wicking fabrics and mesh paneling exactly where you need it. With superior fit and technical innovation, Lululemon designs gear to last and perform day in, day out, no matter the weather. Not convinced? Try it out for yourself with free shipping and free returns for all online orders. Go to www.lululemon.com.au.
Also at Rabat, Rose Davies, she ran the 3K. She was 7th. She ran a PB of 8:49. Jess Hull's got the Australian record at 8:36 though, so still kind of 13 seconds behind that. And I think that's it actually for, you've spoken about the 15 there, Moose. So that was good to see some Aussies in action this morning, last night, depending on when you watched it. Any more news? Brisbane Marathon quickly. Wayne Spires, just what I spoke about him last week, fellas.
Yeah, he won Noosa, right?
Noosa. Came out and won Brisbane this weekend in 2:28. I think really
same
similar.
Time. Exactly the same time.
Yeah, real similar times. Chana Murray Bartlett, she won the women's in 2:57. I think I did see somewhere, this is a good AV runner, been around for a while. I think I saw somewhere that she's running, like some epic, the length of Africa or something. Do you see that, Moose?
I saw something, but I didn't read it.
I don't know if I got the right country there, but
you got the right name though.
She's doing some massive run, fundraising for something worthwhile. I'm sure I'll have some more news on that in the coming weeks, maybe. Aiden Hobbs won the half, 66.05.
Hobbsy, big
I reckon
man.
that'd be a PB for Aiden too.
That's huge.
Yep, that's a good run for him. And I don't think that's that quick, that course. Cassie
A few
Fan,
hills.
past guest, she's back, 76.02. And then Kieran Perkins, talk about him nearly every week on this show. He won the 10K 29.46, and Olga Fezova won the women's in 33.53. So some big names getting around the Brisbane Marathon Festival on the weekend, Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Leonora, Moose, explain this race to some of our overseas listeners.
All right. Well, Leonora is like this mining town in the Australian outback, in Western Australia, in the middle of nowhere. And they put on a running race. I'm not sure whether it ties into any other festival at the time, like whether it's, or is it a standalone thing? Not sure.
No, they do I looked at their website yesterday. I think they've got a few events going on in the main street there.
Yeah, like a cycling race as well. Or so, normally that, anyway.
I think it's like lawn bowls or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's been going for a long time now, and they do really well to get all the elite athletes out there because massive prize purse. 65 grand up for grabs over the weekend for the runners. Bitumen Street is the track, and it's like it's like a crit track basically. You go up, or I'm going to say, well, the 300. I'm going to say it's like 200 up, 200 back. Yeah, something like. I watched the 600, and then I watched the mile as well. I'm not sure exactly how long the loop is, but yeah, very like town friendly. Everyone can line the streets, and you can pretty much see the runners at the entire time. It's not like they run out, you lose sight of them. You can see it the whole time. Pretty difficult, these road miles, to get your pacing right, I reckon, just because you've got no reference point on the track. There's always, like, you can fall in and you're getting splits every sort of 100 meters, whereas it seemed like it's difficult to pace a road mile. 6.5 grand cash to win the race, 2.5 grand worth of golden nugget as well as a bonus. So in the ladies' race, Zoe Buckman, she was a star of Australian athletics for a while. She ran at University of Oregon, and then she was in the 2016 Olympics. Is that right?
Yeah, I think she went to two Olympics.
Yep. So I haven't seen her much lately, but she's run 4:47.2 to win, to outkick Nat Rule, who's run 4:47.8, and Melissa Duncan third, 4:48.7. So that's a huge sort of, I'm going to call it a comeback win because we haven't seen her much at all lately. So big from Zoe Buckman for that win. Nice payday.
Hasn't got a result on her World Athletic Profile since 2018.
Wow, that's a while,
isn't it? That's a while ago. 3-time national champion over 1500. She went to the Olympics at Rio, and she came 9th in her semi-final, 4:06 that day. You reckon she also went 2012, Crooks?
I don't know. I thought I heard somebody say that she was a two-time Olympian.
She was very good for a long period there.
She's back in Canberra now.
Is that where she's from originally before she went overseas?
Yeah.
Who's she running with? What group?
Jared Ryan is coaching her. So Jared was pretty much the heart and soul of track and field in Canberra. Like any track meet, he's up there with his bike and doing all the admin stuff. But he was a pretty handy runner back in his day. He was like a sub 8 minute 3K guy. So he generally coaches a lot of juniors. But yeah, he's been coaching Zoe, I guess probably for the last year or so.
She, London as well. She came 8th in the semi there as well. So she's 2-time semi-finalist at the Olympics.
In the men's race, Callum Davies outkicks James Hansen. So James Hansen on the front for the whole race, tried to make it an honest pace, and did so. Ran 4:10 flat, Callum, to come around Hansen late, 4:10.5. And Luke Burrows, Western Australian, was third, 4:14.9. So just off the back. But it came down to it. It was out of these two. I think Jude Thomas, who I thought might have been the favourite for this, he actually was off the fourth. Back. Yeah. No, fifth, I reckon
was
he was.
Yeah.
I think he did. Oh, no, I reckon he passed someone to come fourth at the end there.
Well, I don't know. But anyway, he wasn't really in it at any stage, actually. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yeah, and unique. I think Runners Tribe have got the video up on their social media if you want to check out what we're talking about. Worth a watch. All right, boys, Train and Talk and Listener Question combined this week, and this week's Train and Talk segment is proudly brought to you by Lululemon. Lululemon have designed technical gear with the runner in mind to last more than a season. Head to lululemon.com.au to find out more. Bradley, do you mind reading the questions?
No, I can do that.
Go for it.
Question comes from Johnny. Hi, guys. Idea for a training talk with Run Melbourne coming up in about 8 weeks. How about some suggestions for half marathon specific sessions? Cheers.
Good one. Boys, what do you got? You want a half marathon?
The half marathon is so... it's just basically... I feel like it's the race that you can do anything, like you can train for using multiple different sessions, and they're all helpful or handy.
That's why I love it.
Yeah, you can do like shorter stuff, longer stuff. You can do long runs. You can do hard long runs. It's all relevant for the half marathon. But I'll give you one. My favorite half marathon specific session that I do for most of my athletes coming into a half is the 3x3K at half pace with 3-minute jog recovery. That's not that difficult, but I feel like it's a good indicator. Well, not an indicator, but I feel like that hits the spot pretty good.
Do you ever go to 4 Moose?
4K?
Yeah, 4x3K.
Oh, you probably could.
Yeah.
Probably could.
Makes it 12K worth of work.
Yeah, you could. I've never really found like I needed to go longer. So I think if you're a trainer, guys that are good at training can go to 12K, but I was never great at training, so 3K was enough for me.
Yep. Brad, you got any favourites for a half marathon?
I haven't run that many halves, but one I did do before Christchurch was it was 12K worth of work. It was 2x6K with like a gap in the middle. I think it was maybe a 3-minute jog. So that's obviously like a little bit more intense than Moose's one, because obviously you're doing 6K worth of work before you get a break, but it does give you that sort of that half marathon feel to a point, or just running at that pace for a longer period of time. So
that's good, because 21K is a long way. You need to do some longer workouts for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I enjoy the progression run for a half marathon, and like you boys have already said, I guess with yours, Moose, you can start with 3 reps and build to 4 if you want to, but you don't have to. But I like the one where you could potentially start off, 8 weeks out, he just said, maybe closer now, that email came in a few weeks ago. But you could start off with 9K progression run, and you could go 3K a bit slower than half marathon pace, 3K at your half marathon pace, and then 3K a bit quicker. And then you could just build that out. And you could build that out to even like 13, 14K, where you break it into 3 sections with the first third a bit slower, middle third at pace, the last third a bit quicker. And I feel that's a good one to concentrate because you don't get any breaks. As someone who I think is a half decent trainer, when I see the 3x3K or 4x3K, I'm sometimes good at concentrating for 3K worth of work, whereas when you've got to concentrate for 12, 14K in a row, that can test a whole different mental stimulus. So I like doing a bit of stuff like that as well. But yeah, a specific workout, and then as Moose said, you can be doing shorter stuff as well. That 300 metre workout you spoke about a couple of weeks ago, Moose, I'd be throwing that in there somewhere, or some 400 metre reps. I think you did those last week, Croaks, off a short recovery. They're good for half marathon. 1K reps, mile repeats, and a decent long run. Then you'd be pretty fit for your half marathon, I reckon.
You can do long tempos as well.
Long tempos, yeah.
Long tempos at marathon pace is going to help a half marathon as well. I think you can pretty much become a very versatile, overall rounded athlete by training for a half marathon.
Yeah. And I think those longer tempos as well, like we were just talking about, like the mental gains you get with that is really important to just learn to concentrate. The pace might be slower, but once you're fresh and you've put the training together for a few weeks, and in a race day, that same effort that you're doing marathon pace at will probably be half marathon time on race morning.
Yeah, well, the day I did actually found it 2x6K off a 2-minute float. So that day I did like 12.5K at 3:07s, and then I raced the half marathon at 3:05s. But like in training, like there's no way on that day I felt like I could run, 21k at that pace, but it was sort of a good, I guess it ended up being a decent sort of indicator.
I don't think I could do that. That session with 2-minute float. I don't think I could do it.
It's a good workout, isn't it? Very good workout. Where'd you do that round, Croaks?
That was Yerrabee, yeah.
Old Yerrabee Pond. Thanks for that part of the question, Johnny. And then Brad, the second part of it.
From Lucy. Hi, boys. I really enjoy the weekly podcast. I've been listening for a few months now and recently signed up. I'm trying to break 90 minutes for a half marathon. I would love to understand more about why long threshold / slowish runs are so important. Thank you so much.
Threshold / slowish.
Yeah.
Does she mean like long runs? Like...
Oh, I think it's two different things.
I don't know, like long threshold / like long slope.
Yeah.
Well, you could start by addressing the threshold component, and the half marathon. If you're running 90 minutes, you'll be running slightly slower than your threshold pace, but by spending time running just underneath your threshold in training means that you can improve it. And then you can I guess, tolerate more time spent at that particular threshold. You become better at utilizing lactate and clearing lactate and basically being able to run on the limit for a lot longer. And so for a half marathoner that's like around 60 to 70 minutes, most of their half marathon stuff will be threshold running. As you do more specific work for the half marathon, you'll run slower than threshold, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do threshold work in training. And so, yeah, I guess it's just to tolerate lactate better. That's why you do threshold.
There is a lot of evidence around now to go a touch slower, though, isn't it?
Yeah, under threshold.
Sub-threshold.
So I don't think you want to get so particular with it, though. So and
you want to
it's pretty.
Feel it. You want to ride that line when you're doing the workouts.
Yeah, it's so exact too. You don't really know where you're at unless you're doing some scientific shit to work it out. And so you're out there in the middle of bloody Prince's Park or wherever you're training, and you're thinking, oh, gee, I wonder if I'm under or over or I'm on it or whatever. You're probably over. Most people run their thresholds too hard. They run it too fast. They get to the end of the rep and they really want to stop because it's getting hard for them, and that's a sign that they're running it too fast. And so that's the point where you're like, okay, threshold, I'm going to get more out of this if I slow down and maybe just go down from 5th gear to 4th gear.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then why the slow long run's important? Building fitness, time on your feet.
Strength.
Get them over hills.
Yeah, and look, from my experience as a coach, like people that are doing these like half marathons and marathons, it's the strength that lets them down. It's never their speed. And you build strength by being out on your feet for a longer period of time. Like strength in terms of your legs, but also your aerobic engine.
Yeah, that's right. This is like someone who's newer to running. What they're lacking is aerobic conditioning, and that you don't get a lot of that by doing hill reps and doing the fast 200s and all that stuff. You get that from being consistently at a very easy pace, and you get it especially more from doing a long run, and that's why we love going out once a week over hills like we all do, except for you, Brady, and just being out there for an extended period of time.
Yeah, like I think most recreational runners would improve their running by purely just running more and jogging and like without doing any sessions.
Yeah, they would.
That's what holds people back the most, I think, is just running a decent amount of volume each week.
Yeah, I've got to say, most important run of the week is your long run. Second most important run of the week, your second long run, midweek one.
Oh, where'd you get that from?
Chris Wardle.
Yeah, right.
It's a bloody good saying, though, isn't it?
Do you have a poster of him up on your wall as well?
I love him so much. I
can tell.
I haven't had a bad race
each week.
I haven't had a bad race since I interviewed him either. You notice that? Probably due for one this weekend though, so we'll see. Boys, it is that time. We finally get to review the Lululemon running gear that we got sent. So I've been using saying thank you to them for the training talk segment each week for the last couple of weeks. But we do get to review the gear that we got sent. A massive thanks to Lululemon for sending us. I got some half tights, a couple of long sleeves, tops, some socks, some jocks. I got a hat in there as well, I think, and maybe some splees, some running shorts there as well. So a massive thank you for sending a box my way. I've been loving this product. It's just all good quality. That's the first thing I noticed when I opened the box. I was actually surprised we got so much stuff, to be honest, as well. I wasn't expecting that much stuff. I might start with the half tights though, one of my favourites. The good thing about these half tights is they got the built-in jocks, so you don't have to wear anything underneath. So everything's pretty snug. Everything fits in right there. And two pretty decent pockets. I occasionally run with my phone, and these Lululemon half tights are the only pair of half tights where my phone actually sits and it doesn't bounce around, and I am not afraid that it's going to bounce out and smash on the road that I'm currently running on. I think every other pair of my tights do have a pocket where the phone's meant to go, but it doesn't fit like it does in the Lululemon half tights. So that's my thoughts on those. You guys wearing these ones at all?
Yeah.
Do you get them? Do you get the same stuff I got?
Yeah, so I got half tights, a long sleeve, a short sleeve, and then the socks and jocks and hat. Half tights have by far been my favourite piece of clothing. I've worn them every Sunday long run for the last probably 5 weeks. And like you, the pockets are amazing. I reckon I could fit probably 3 gels in each side. And like on Sunday, I started the run with gloves on. And I remember back in the day, I used to sometimes take my gloves off and just like shove them down like my pants, like if I wasn't holding them, whereas I was able to fit both my gloves down into one of the side pockets. So, they've been my go-to Sunday long run piece of clothing for the last 5 weeks.
The long sleeves, do you know on the long sleeve, they got little messages typed in inside like the seam? Have you seen those?
Yeah, actually,
what do they say? Movement is medicine or something like that?
I'm wearing it right now, actually.
What's it say? Because I remember putting it on the other day going, oh, that's nice. That's written on there.
I'll find it. It must be on the back because I'm looking at the front of it.
I think it's on the sleeves too.
I'll find it.
You'll find
Keep talking.
Moose, what have you been enjoying about it?
Well, yeah, I got the half tight. I have been running in that. I do like it as well. Like I'm with you guys. It's a bit tighter than some other half tights. I'm not sure how it'll go in summer. I like my tights to be a little looser in summer, like the other ones I've got. But in winter, I appreciate it a bit tighter, and it's a bit thicker material too. So it's a good winter half tight, that one. Appreciate the phone pocket for whatever. I don't carry my phone, but I like to just chuck like you said, gloves in there, or even just like commuting to the run. Often I'll drive somewhere and just chucking your phone in on the way to the run. I also have the long sleeve. I've got it in the orange, same as you, Brady.
Yeah, I got orange too.
We all got the orange, blue, I think.
Yeah, I got the long sleeve, and that's been good. Like, there's not a great amount of long sleeves out there. I find like if I'm going to wear a long sleeve, I would normally just wear like a t-shirt and a jacket over the top. But at the moment, I'm putting this long sleeve on, and it isn't like, it's very soft. And sometimes when you go softer with your materials, it doesn't wick, or it can get a little heavy with sweat. This one's a good mix, I think. It seems to be a good mix. It's got like a sort of antibacterial property through it too, so it doesn't smell like after your run as bad as other tops do.
I didn't know that.
Brady, move your body is in one sleeve, and still your mind is in the other.
Oh, I like that. See, just putting it on, you're just getting a bit of wisdom before you go out for a run. Socks are good too, Moose. You are actually the black pair of socks. I'm not sure if you guys got this, but it's got the reflective like pattern. So when cars see you, when you got socks on, it bounces back off them. And that, I don't know, you guys don't do much work early in the morning out on the roads, but for someone like me who's blue collar out there running, and when it's dark, that's something I appreciate.
They got a bit more of that sort of compression feel to them.
Moose raced in his the other week at
I did actually.
Yeah, I liked them.
I liked them. I actually saw them and I thought, oh, these will be terrible. You know, a lot of brands have a crack at socks and get it really wrong. But no, I've put these on and gone, this is good. these are good socks, and yeah, I'll wear them out.
Yeah, when I saw you in them, I thought, he rates them pretty highly. Like, I think runners have, I'm sure you guys are the same. You got stuff that you'd do your easy jogs in, and then you got stuff that you like wearing for workouts or races or even the long run. Like, you got kind of two tiers of different running kit. Do you guys do the same thing?
Yeah.
And I know with Lululemon, like, all this stuff's gone to like the top tier for me.
We know how much importance I place on my long run and having a good fast long run, and they've been my go-to piece of clothing for the last 5 weeks, the half tights.
The last thing I want to say about Lululemon's running gear was a head turner for me. Boston Marathon this year, Scott Fable. Can you remember him running?
Yep.
Yeah.
And do you know what singlet he wore?
Well, I'm going to guess. I'm going to have a wild guess.
Have a real wild guess. Did you know at the time when you saw him?
I didn't see him.
Google him. Google him
I
now.
didn't see it.
Google him while I'm talking here. He ran in. It's almost like a tie-dye pattern Lululemon singlet, which I wish we got the option to get sent to us, because I definitely would have been ticking that box to get one of those.
Go and buy it yourself.
I am.
Mate.
I'm going to buy them on their website
much.
right now, and they got 4 different colours. We often complain about men's, or I often do, men's running gear looking a bit boring. This is a really cool singlet. If you watched him at the Boston Marathon, you'll know what I'm talking about. And they've got 4 different colours. I wonder if I can get it for Launceston this week.
See, this is where we probably, this is where you're going to differ in opinion to people, because when you say something's cool, I'm not sure how cool it actually is.
Wait, Google Scott Fable Boston Marathon, and you let me know if he looks cool or not in that photo.
All right, I'll let you know.
Good.
Didn't he wear like a... Yeah, all right.
I reckon he had a bit of a mix. I reckon every single bit of clothing was a different brand from head to toe. So he looked good though, and he ran like 2:09 or something. Great run, PB. Anyway, that's that chat. Anything else to add there, boys, before we move on? Massive thank you to Lululemon as well. And thanks again.
He's got the Lululemon hat on, I think.
Does he? He went hat and singlet.
Yeah, I reckon that's the hat we got.
Did you get? I got fluoro yellow.
I got fluoro orange.
Mm.
What colour did you get? Moose? Black.
I got a black one.
Did
but
you?
I can't. My hats look terrible on me, so.
Yeah, you got a weird shaped head, don't you?
I'll swap ya. I got a head that suits a beanie.
All right. So that was that. Thanks again to this week's Trainer Talk partner, Lululemon. Their new range is designed with lightweight fabrics, thoughtful features like key-sized zipper pockets and mesh paneling to keep you running whatever the weather. Visit lululemon.com.au. Moose on the loose.
Oh, moose on the loose, yeah. I had something this week, but I think Zach is going to take care of it on his Run to PB podcast.
What was it?
So I'm going to let him take care of it.
Okay.
All right.
Zach
So I'm not going to. Yeah, he'd be good at it. I'm not going to steal his thunder.
You've just given them so many downloads, Moose.
Run to PB sign-ups are going to be coming in hot this week.
But do you know what? Who have they got on there? Brady, Zaka.
I'm not on there. I'm on here with you boys.
Mattress. I'm not too concerned.
Chris Armstrong, some legends over there.
Oh yeah, he's a good fella.
Chris Armstrong
why is he signed up with you blokes? He's
nicest
too good of a
bloke
fella
getting
for that.
around, Chris Armstrong. Won't find a nicer bloke in running circles.
It's just odd that he would get mixed up with you though.
Water finds its own level, Moose. You notice all these good people seem to be in the same spot. It's like when Ferg got brought to me in Echuca, Moama.
Oh, settle.
Moose on the loose. Give me something.
Yeah, give you something that's made me upset lately.
I got one for you. Correct. You watched the start of the 1500 Rabat Diamond League, the men's race.
I did.
What the hell happened there?
So the gun went and everybody bar 2 took off, and the other 2 were like looking, going, "What's going on? Like, is the race started?"
Yeah.
It sounded like the crowd was pretty noisy. So I don't know. Like, I think they probably should have just called it back, because those 2 guys had no chance.
Surely. They just left him there, and these guys are looking at each other, and then they're like, oh, we've got to chase this down. It's very strange, Moose. Have a look at it.
Like, they could have easily just, hit the gun again, because people had only travelled like 5 metres or whatever, but they really stitched those 2 blokes up.
Ruined 2 guys' races there. And another one, back to officials at Diamond League meets. Like, these aren't volunteer people that I'm picking on at bloody AV races here. This is like the biggest meet in the world. Diamond League the other day, men's 1500. Where was it? Birmingham?
Yeah.
Oh,
Prefontaine? They rang the bell a lap early.
It was Birmingham.
It's a 3.5 lap race. How do you get that wrong?
Yeah.
Just a joke.
What about when they're calling out false starts in the 5K?
Oh, yeah.
That annoys me because a guy leaves a millisecond early and they're firing the gun a second time and restarting it. Just fucking rate. Just let him go.
Yeah.
Like, no one's getting an advantage there. Come on.
Over officiating track races.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. We got one in the end. Have you purchased anything?
I've purchased a bit of stuff, actually. So I got this dog here that I've raised since he was a puppy. He's Cedric, his name. He's Big Dog de Bordeaux. Now, he's a real asshole, the thing. I love him, but he hates other dogs and he's attacked a few and he's shit dog to walk. And so now he's like 8 years old and I thought, you know what, I'm going to have another crack at training him. And so I've been buying dog training equipment. And so my latest purchase was this snack pack bag. Like, it's a buckle bag. It's like a waistband and you flip, like, you clip it on and then it's got like a bag for your snacks, like a little I guess satchel.
You just said, I don't look cool. People are not going to judge their purchases of what I say.
So,
Miss, do you know who you remind me of now?
Who?
From the castle. Dad, they're selling jousting sticks. You don't need this shit, but you just, what's he asking?
Yeah, I need it though, because like, how else are you going to carry your dog's training snacks? I'm not going to put him in my pocket. That's gross. And so I bought him a collar and. It's work in progress. Imagine teaching an 8-year-old dog, weighs about like 50 kilos, pulls. Oh, this is a challenge though. Like, I'm not challenging myself with running. Body's letting me down. This is a challenge. We're like, I'll get this dog. 6 months time, I'll get him. You'll see him. I'll go to dog shows. I'll go and do like dog competitions.
Good luck
whatever
with
they
that.
call it. Yeah.
How's he go with the baby?
Oh, it's weirding him out actually. He's a bit strange around it. He's turned into a real weirdo. Like, yeah, it's hard to explain. But you don't leave him in the same room with the baby. He just gets like, it's almost like he's possessive of it or something. Like, and he always wants to follow you right round. And then, like, yeah, it's a bit odd. I reckon he's either going a little senile, like getting a bit past it, or the baby's fucked him up real good. Like, affected his pack position or something.
Okay.
Just an odd one.
We're looking forward to more updates. What did you say its name was? Cedric?
Cedric. Check out Instagram. He's on my Instagram.
Oh, here's the real big fella.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the picture you're talking about. Okay, so what's coming up? We've got tickets still available for the Gold Coast live show in a few weeks. Getting quick. They're going, but there's still some available. It's going to be a great afternoon. We'll be recapping live Bradley's marathon. I'll be in action in the half on the Saturday. Moose and Bree will just be sleeping. Won't be at any of the races. But you'll catch some of the races, won't you, Moose? You're going to get up early? We should do a long run on the Sunday.
For what?
We'll do at the Gold Coast.
Oh yeah, I'll be up.
You're going to get up. You'll be on course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be out. I've actually I tried to hire some bikes. They've ignored me. I'm trying to rent bikes. I've got to sort that out, actually. Yeah, I'll be out there for sure.
Where are you
Saturday,
staying,
Sunday.
Moose?
Let me just check. It's in Queensland. It's on the Gold Coast. I reckon it's more like Surfers Paradise, though.
Where are you, Croaks? Surfers?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm near you, actually.
Gold Coast. Gold Coast.
So that's that. Gold Coast. Get some tickets.
Oh, here we go.
Great weekend. Can't wait to get up there out of this cold weather. Where you staying, Moose?
No, I don't know. Don't have it. Don't have the info.
Have listeners knocking on your door. Probably not the best idea just to say where you're staying on air anyway.
No idea, actually.
Oceania Champs are also this week. Not sure if that impacts any distance runners that need points because everyone's just nailing the times.
Yeah, I had a look. The selection criteria is pretty much written out. They're not going to pick the Oceania champions like it was always played up like they might.
Yeah.
Back when they first started talking about these ranking points and all that. So yeah, I don't think it'll have the effect that it was supposed to. That makes sense.
And Rome Diamond League, I think that's a Thursday, Friday. So we'll be
the
talking
9th.
about... When is it, Brad?
It's the 9th.
It's Thursday.
Yeah, so it'll be, Friday morning, our time.
Okay.
Guessing.
Sure, there'll be some Australians in action there. And the other big thing this weekend is the Launceston 10K. We'll share the stream on our Facebook page. You might have to do that, Moose, because Croaks, Zachary and I will be racing.
Oh, Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. Put that in your diary.
What time do you start?
I don't know, Brad. Do you know?
We're 10:30.
It's usually a late start.
Oh, 10:30.
The half's early though.
Is that like 7 or 8 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll check. I think it's
Got the fields open there, boys. Open the fields
latest.
up and tell me who's going to win. We'll start with the half marathon. Got them open?
Of speed.
Yep, 8:05. The half marathon is on.
Okay, so they'll be running done before we even get down there. Actually, I watched the stream from my hotel room last year. That's good. Good to watch while you get ready.
So I wonder how Sam McIntyre's going, because he was on fire. Kieran Perkins hard to beat right now.
This is the 10K you're talking about now.
Yeah, 10K.
Yeah, well, Sam McIntyre went over to the States, didn't he run a 13:35K?
Yeah.
When I'm looking at this list, he's the only 13:30 guy there.
Yeah.
For 5.
Yeah.
I've got him as favourite.
Well, we should be able to basically sit and kick from all those other guys.
Yeah.
Imagine.
29:48 you got down here, Croaks. Is that your track PB?
Yeah, I've run pretty much similar on the road track.
You should put your track PB down there to look a bit quicker, I reckon. That's how you've got in
Women.
this race.
Women, Eloise Wellings, 31:14. Leanne Popiani, 32:26. Jess Stenson, 32:40. Natalie Rule, 32:46.
Nat Rule's going to destroy that time, I reckon. Big
Destroy the field too?
Well, I'm interested to see how Eloise Wellings goes, because she did DNF that half at Sydney, 3 weeks ago? So back on a start line, so you'd assume everything's going all good. And she ran
this is a good one.
That's a story to follow. Also,
this is a good race. You've got a few up-and-comers with Pompiani and Rule, and then you've got the old brigade, the old legends, Jess Stenson and Eloise Wellings.
Interesting, and they're both sitting there wondering which team they're getting picked for.
Yes.
Do you reckon they wait and see some of these? Do these results mean anything over 10K?
It might play a tiny part, but it won't play a significant part. That's how I think.
That's how you think. Half marathon, Brett Robinson's and Liam Adams. There's going to be, but Brett's off a 10K PB and pretty close to his 5K PB.
Yeah.
So I'd assume he goes into this favourite, but Liam's never easy to beat.
No, Liam will be competitive, but I can't see him beating Brett over the half. I think Brett's just got too much speed, over that sort of distance.
And then sorry.
Well, how did Liam go? Liam ran at St Anne's, or did just a tempo run?
Just a tempo. He caught up with us with a K to go and was just talking to us all. So this is going to be a good battle, guys. And he kind of cut me off a bit, and then he ran wide over the course and put his arm out you can have this line. And I'm just mate, I don't want that line. I'm just trying not to die here. Don't worry about me. And then he kind of does a bit of commentary with 500 metres to go. Come on, boys, you're looking good here. Hey, fourth up for grabs. And he's wearing because my actual friend, he saw a photo of me next to Liam Adams and knows nothing about running, and then screenshotted it, sent it through in a group chat, and was like, Brady, surely you beat this guy. Were you lapping him? What's going on? Because he's got spray-painted shoes, he's got a trucker's hat on, and he looks like he's just out for a Sunday jog, and we're all in spikes and look like we're about to die because we're breathing so hard. So I had to remind my mate that that's a 2-time Olympian, Liam Adams, who's just doing a tempo run in an AV race and coming in 5th or 8th or whatever.
And
he come in.
Did you send the photo to the Moama Bowling Club saying, hey, look, I beat this guy on the weekend?
No, not a bad idea though, Croaks. I should have done that. Missed an opportunity taking down Olympians. Yeah, I reckon he won't go down easy, because he's ran well on the roads. Run for the kids, he went crazy fast at the start, and then he won against Timmy Vincent and those guys pretty easy at Sydney half. He'll be up for a battle, Liam Adams. Don't write him off. And then Sinead versus Millie in the half. Superstars everywhere, yeah.
I'll go Sinead with that one.
You got to be backing Sinead fresh off her PB or just off her PB. I think 2 seconds a couple of weeks ago over in Japan.
Sinead and Brett.
into Sam McEntee and who for the women at 10K. See if you can pick a perfect 4 for me.
I'm gonna go Nat Rule.
Oh,
I don't know. It's
10K.
hard.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nat Rule has been crushing it. She has been crushing it, and remember that
Yeah, she didn't.
run the
Didn't
bridge.
She ran 15:05
Run the
or
bridge.
something.
She ran very well. 10K.
Well, coming off, what'd she run? 15:06? 5K on the track?
Recently? Yeah, she just missed it at the time by
Well, no, she got the time.
Oh, no, she got the time.
Yeah, she got the time.
Yeah.
You look at that, 15:06 on paper, she should beat those other girls. I know it's a 10K and this is 5, this is 10 and that was 5, but still 15:06 gives you a bit of room to play with, because Leanne's run 15:20 something recently.
People are sleeping on Leanne's Sydney run. I know there's controversy and discussion about if it was short or not, but still, even if it was 100 metres short, she's still breaking 32 minutes. And that can be good enough to win this. I'll take Leanne. All right, that's all, boys. Show's finishing. Anything else? What's coming up in your life, Julian?
This week, back to work, of course. Got to sort out this stream for Sunday morning.
You'll just have to hit quick share to the page.
Right. Yeah, okay.
You're not doing commentary on it or anything.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to teach me how to do that.
Will do. Bradley, what are you doing between now and getting on a plane Saturday?
I'm going to head out to the track tomorrow night. But, yeah, it's looking to be pretty miserable. And then, a couple of days of work and, flying down late Saturday afternoon. So hopefully there's no issues with flights because I have to fly from Canberra to Melbourne and then Melbourne to Launceston. And I'm the last flight sort of for the day into Launceston. So I don't know what happens if the Canberra flight was potentially delayed. What would happen there? So hopefully I'll make it.
Swim across. Yeah, that could be interesting. I think Zach is going to do a guessing competition on the Facebook page or Instagram or something. Guess both our times, win a bit of merch or something. We got any merch left, Moose? He was asking today if we had any beanies. No, no beanies, but we'll find a singlet or something.
Yeah, there'll be something floating around. Probably need to get rid of that Shopify site too.
We'll be paying for
by
that.
the way. Yeah, we've been paying for that every month.
Paying for it, not selling anything on there. Good idea.
Yeah.
All right, we're done, ladies and gents. Thanks for listening. See you all next week.
See you Saturday.
See ya. Lululemon believe that running is discovery. It's about the feeling you find along the run route. Freedom, peace, euphoria. Discover their technical run collection at lululemon.com.au.